Welcome back to our channel, Film Booth Recap. Today I'm going to describe an episode from the series Nightmare and Dreamscapes called Battlefield, launched in the year 2006. The protagonist of the motion picture is a hitman called Renshaw. In the opening scene, he parks his vehicle in front of Hans Morris estate. Morris is the president of $1 million children's toy business and also Renshaw's next target. He remains in the shop space checking out the racks of numerous toys till he discovers the one he is searching for. A green fairy. He brings the fairy to his desk and stands by the window. Renshaw sees him via it and gets ready to execute his strategy. He loads his gun and wears a face mask so that the video cameras won't be able to record his face. After that, to fool the guard at the entrance, he uses a phone as bait. A countdown starts on the phone, the guard stresses out and rushes outside to toss it away, taking the opportunity. Renshaw strikes him and fires him dead. The silencer connected to his weapon suppresses the sound of the gunfire, therefore Morris didn't get alerted. Then he takes the keys from the guard's uniform and strolls into the security room with no trouble. After disabling the CCTV video cameras, he with confidence takes his mask off and strolls to the research study area, where Morris was seen. He stumbles upon one more security guard that he kills with little to no resistance. Following that, he strolls into the area and comes across Morris, whom he kills with 2 bullets to his chest as well as 1 to his temple. After making sure he is dead, Renshaw picks up the green fairy from earlier as a souvenir for himself. He also discovers a portrait of Maurice's mom on the table with a note composed on the bottom, but he doesn't assume much of it and leaves. In the following scene, he's on an aircraft flying back home, where he texts the client regarding the effective murder that he just executed. A passenger sitting close to him asks him for the bubble gum. When he opens his bag to get her one, she notices the toys very inside. She thinks it is strange for a grown man to carry a kid's toy but doesn't voice her opinion. When Renshaw lands at the airport, the news about Morris' murder has spread across the nation on his way out. While on his way to his apartment, Renshaw notices that a girl has a doll in her backpack that is similar to the one he noticed in Morris's room. He then notices a green toy on the table at the reception of his apartment building. The same toy he has seen at Maurice's table at the time of his death. After returning to the penthouse, Renshaw safely keeps the green fairy on a display table. It has several other souvenirs like money, a pen, glasses and so on. Each is selected from a person he has killed. Renshaw falls asleep on the sofa while replying to emails in the middle of the night. He is woken up by the doorbell. As he was not expecting anyone at this hour, he thinks it is strange and checked the front door camera before opening the door. There was the receptionist of the apartment, and she simply keeps the box on the floor and walks away. He then brings it in and carefully places it on the kitchen counter. The box had a note addressed to him, but has no information about the sender. However, there is a signature on the bottom that looks awfully similar to Maurice's mother's signature that we had seen in the photo frame on the night of his death. Renshaw deliberates if he should throw the box away, but curiosity gets to the best of him. He carefully opens the wrapper and finds a box full of toys. It also had written on it that it contains a bonus surprise inside. At first, Renshaw checks the box to see if it is a trap. When he finds nothing of such sort, he opens it and sees a whole army of plastic soldiers with guns and ammunition inside it. He brings out one of the toys and inspects it, but finds nothing suspicious later. The box drops off the counter by itself. Renshaw plainly remembers it not being on the brink, so he goes closer to inspect. To his utter shock, the toy soldiers from inside the package are missing. Then, much more unusual things start happening around the home. The curtains carry on their very own as well as the lights turn off unexpectedly. On examining, Renshaw understands that a person cut the cable to the lights. All of a sudden, a soldier from below the table stabs his toes with a sharp gun. It is clear to Renshaw that the plaything soldiers from the package lag all this. When he bends down to check, they begin firing at him, although the bullets just do him a bit of harm. He retreats in shock, as well as worry quickly. They struck him with nitroglycerin that burns his pants. Renshaw registers that the soldiers are tiny but very harmful as they continuously fire at him. He manages to go to the bathroom as well as lock himself inside. His knee is drastically wounded, and also he has several bullets stuck to his skin that is safe yet still harmed. After that, Renshaw makes use of a hand mirror to examine what's going on in the living room. To his discouragement, they are firing at the light bulbs. So the room would certainly go dark. When the soldiers discover him, they toss a cannonball towards him that breaks his mirror. Agitated, Renshaw runs from the other door and also recovers his weapon. He utilizes it to intimidate them and also reach the kitchen. From the cabinet, he highlights a rifle as well as showers them with several rounds of bullets. Unexpectedly, every little thing goes quiet as the soldiers back off in anxiety. Renshaw utilizes the chance to move the sofa pillows so they would not have actually any area left to hide. He turns the entire sofa upside down and also sees their corpse lying underneath. The surviving ones assist the others as well as get them on a jeep. Renshaw watches in awe, not being able to believe his eyes. When he realizes that they are about to flee, he steps on as many soldiers as he can. Some continue shooting at him. However, when Renshaw fires them, the vibration from a single bullet knocks them out. Nonetheless, the attack does not end there. 3 army helicopters emerge from under the table and launch toward him. They assault him with a cannonball, however he somehow evades it, yet they overpower him by bathing him with rockets. Renshaw rapidly hurries to his room as well as locks himself in. He checks out the mirror and is frightened to see several cuts and swellings on his face. He places alcohol on it as well as dresses the wound to his best. Before he knows it, a big sphere bangs on the shower room door, making a hole with it. A helicopter goes into the room as well as continues attacking him. Having actually had adequate, Renshaw captures it with a towel as well as bangs the plaything to the ground. Complying with that, he flushes the remains down the toilet. But the soldiers reject to give up. Finally, he drops a plugged-in hair clothes dryer right into the water and lastly eliminates them. He determines to spend the remainder of the evening in the washroom, where his safety is guaranteed. Later, he stitches the wound on his thighs, despite the fact that it is extremely excruciating. A few hours later, a shadow shows up under the door. A soldier from outside leaves a note for Renshaw, asking him to give up. The man is amazed by the toy's ingenuity. He consequently writes "screw you" on the paper. When he most likely to put it back, he understands that it's a catch. A group of soldiers with storage tanks are ready to fire at him. The influence makes many more openings in the door, leaving Renshaw in a variety of fires. To conserve his life, he climbs up outside the window, but can hardly leave from the 14th floor of the structure. He somehow handles it and very carefully walks in the direction of the porch, but simply after that, another helicopter assaults him. The soldiers are seconds away from pressing him off. At that exact minute, Renshaw fires a single shot that collapses the helicopter. When he comes back to the veranda, he finally sighs with relief. Inside, even more soldiers are aiming the cannon at the home window, waiting for him to return. A while later on, he thinks about a strategy. He distracts the soldiers by utilizing a rubber duck in the swimming pool. After that, he assaults them with a fire extinguisher from the opposite. As they try to flee, another group of soldiers captures his attention. They circle around him on a jeep while shooting repetitively. Renshaw uses a lighter as well as a spray to develop a weapon and also burn them to life. He even gets a knife and also chops their bodies right into items out of rage. Following that, he goes back to the team that is battling the fire extinguisher and smashes them with a box. Finally, all the soldiers are killed. Renshaw rests with the scorched plastic as well as relocates around to make sure every one of them is dead. He counts them and matches them to the number on the package. When the numbers match, he is lastly eased, but he forgets to consider the benefit shock that was composed on the back of the box. He consumes alcohol and also takes a swim to unwind. Instantly, somebody cuts his wrist from inside the water. He quickly comes outside and sees that he requires prompt sewing. He uses a needle and a string and stitches the cut to the most effective of his capacities. Then he decides to leave the penthouse so the continuing to be soldiers wouldn't assault him once again. Yet what he does not know is that the problem has actually followed him inside the elevator. Suddenly the lights head out as well as the buttons panel breaks, making sure that Renshaw doesn't open the elevator door at his will. He utilizes a flashlight to look around, however, sees no one. When the panel flashes again, he notices a solitary commando of the task force inside it. The toy escapes the elevator with a missing ceiling panel. As Renshaw follows him behind, he notices that the elevator is stuck and also he has no way to get away. As a last resort, he jumps on top of a second lift. He eliminates a ceiling panel and also enters inside, delighted that he is finally safe. However, his happiness doesn't last long when he recognizes that the commando has followed him within. The tiny commando makes use of a blade to stab Renshaw repetitively. Yet due to the dimension difference, it does him little to no injury. Renshaw then captures the commando as well as puts him in between the lift doors. The doors squash his head, eliminating him at last. Renshaw smiles at the toy's brainless body but quickly discovers that it is attached to nitroglycerin. The bomb detonates, killing him in the process. We see a sticker connected to the plaything box that says the package includes a commando and also a thermonuclear weapon as bonus presents. Elsewhere, the taken toy fairy moves on her very own. That was all from the video. I hope you liked it. Please subscribe for more such awesome movie recaps and click the bell icon so that you get the notification whenever we post a video.